Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a great rack, I've got Rotunda. Will that play? And possibly a few eights with the right floaters. Does Rotunda have an anagram? I don't think it does. But great, I do have a play. HM takes an O in front. So I can play Rotunda in column 6. What about playing it parallel to HM? I would need 2 consecutive vowels, and I don't have that. And the alternative placement is beginning in column 1, which is inferior in score and board position to this. Rotunda for 68. Pretty good. High scoring tiles. I may not have a bingo, but it looks jolly close to one. Not seeing a 7. Let me consider the floaters. M doesn't look good. I've got hawk and hawks, which accounts for all of the high scoring letters, with D, E. No, not seeing a hawk play. What about U? Doesn't look promising. N. Wow, close to hand sewn. D and A duplicate and don't look good, and nothing with the M. So I'm looking for value from my scoring tiles. I have hawks and rotundas, but that burns the S. However, if the score is good enough, then I'm happy to play the S. Double lane in row K, even for a non-bingo. That would need to begin with S or a vowel for me. Not seeing a play. Oh wow, what a start for an opponent. Fantastic J bingo. Takes out my hawks spot. A few more floaters to consider. What about T? No. O. I've got skew as a component part of a word. R. No. And S. No. So I'm immediately drawn to column 8. Do I have a big score onto this triple word square? And I'd like to get one of my scoring tiles doubled and to play off 2 tiles, 2 of the high scoring tiles. Wow, I'm not sure I do. What about any WHI plays? Oh well, this does burn the S. However, it's the only play I've seen which uses 2 of the big tiles, and it scores 57 points, and the rack leave, not bad. I am going with this. Well, not fantastic. I have dungaree through the R. Wow, and that plays. Gosh, I was about to say that I had reneged, which doesn't play in that spot. But I have dungaree, and I have ungeared in column 11, also using an R. Whisk has taken out the double lane in row K. So it's possible both bingos will be blocked by a play in row G. So do I have an alternative bingo? What about the S? No. How about the K? No. Wow, fantastic start for opponent, getting a bingo with the J. So often the J is used for a short word. Now, dungaree is really going to create some volatility, placing a D in column 1. So ungeared, I think, is going to be less volatile. And although it will provide access to this triple word square, It'll be hard to place a scoring tile on the double letter square. One of the W's has gone. I was thinking of dwelt and dwine. Now, opponent taking a while with this play. Has he drawn a blank? Is he about to bingo? A bingo which takes out my bingo lanes would be brutal. Now, do I have a bingo with the T? No, I don't. Underage is another anagram through an R, but that doesn't play on the board at the moment. So if I do get my bingo down, then I will have survived burning the S. Opponent down to 16 minutes, 18 minutes on my clock. Almost any bingo opponent plays will be creating a lot of floaters. Wow, dungaree remains available. Opponent has not bingoed. Phew, just 30 points. And 2 Fs and a U. Not a great rack in terms of bingoiness. I think opponent has taken out my ungeared spot. Let me just check that. He has. I don't think there's a 7 with this rack. If there was, it would play in columns 11 and 13. So I think the only playable bingo is dungaree for 72. Wow, not a bad pick. But what is opponent going to do with dungaree? Not only have I created access to triple word squares, including a triple spot, but there's a big X play above the U and also under the O. Now, my rack, I've got no scoring tiles, but do I have a bingo? I have entoiled. Oh, wow, that doesn't play. Does entoiled have an anagram? Well, entoil has the anagram of lionette, but I don't think entoiled does. What about an N? No. How about the G? Gosh. If the I were an A, I would have elongate. O doesn't look promising. What about the K? What about note-like? Wow, it's void challenge, so I'm definitely going to try it. And that's not abusing the void challenge system. I do feel that note-like is good, but only 80% sure rather than 95 or higher. Note-like. It would be nice to have a bingo I was more sure of. Is there really no 7 here? It would be very high probability. Deletion is the anagram of entoiled, and that does play in column 1, not as a triple. Wow, deletion. However, opponent very likely to play to block that. So any other floaters to consider? What about duffels? Did that create anything? Well, the F is available because EME. Oh wow, a bingo for opponent. What a lot of bingos. Already 5 on the board. And I'm about to play a 6th. So, do I have anything with the O? No, in which case, deletion. Oh wow, of course, deletion takes an S. Still 2 S's, 2 blanks to come. But it's 80 points. And I draw an S. Wow, what about bravings? Does braving take an S? Let me check this. No, it doesn't. Okay. However, it's still a balanced rack. B and V don't go great together, so I'm not optimistic there's a bingo here. However, quite a few floaters to consider, and even if there isn't a bingo, I have braving, which gets rid of the B and the V and retains the S. Now, floating E. Now, well, I was going to say if there's a T, I could have vibrance. Again, not totally sure of that. Anything with the O? I haven't looked at the scores yet, so let me do that now. I lead by 90. Braving would normally be a bold play, opening access to triple word squares, but this board is absolutely wide open. Now, what about putting an S on the end of deletion? I could play snib. What does that score? 57 points. Wow. That's a lot. I'm minded to do that, unless there's a better play. Okay, wow, 39 for opponent. Nice play. Let me consider the floaters on the board. E, I think I've already considered. R, no. A, no. There is a T, but it's not available as a bingo floater. U, no. N. Braving doesn't take an S. A, not available as a bingo-y floater. O. No. Now, what does Braving score? 32 points, retaining the S for deletions. 32 points. Okay, and the alternative? 57 points. ARV is not a terrible rack leave. 1V has already been played. Snib provides nothing for opponents, so bogey and snib will basically take out a lot of the volatility on the board. There are still floaters, there are still bingo lanes, but there aren't the super hot spots for high-scoring non-bingo plays. Am I going with snib? Can I get my V in this spot? No, I am going with this. So Bravado is good. Does that play anywhere? Dungaree does take an S. Bravado and Dep. Wow, I do have a playable bingo, and the board is so wide open. Column 14 may well remain available. Wow, overpaid, but this E not available. Appears too late on the board. What about the U? No. N? No. G? No. Okay, does overpaid have an anagram? Don't think it does. R doesn't look useful, nor does A, so just the solitary bingo so far, and likely to remain so, and nothing with the K. So what if my bingo is blocked? That would be wretchedly bad luck. This isn't such a key moment of the game. Bravado could establish a huge lead. It remains available. Fantastic. Plus, opponent has created a new and better spot. So Bravado provides access to triple word squares. It also stops one square short of a double word square. Not massively dangerous, but I think it takes an S. So the new spot opponents provided is this. 75 points. Let me consider the score in column 14. 77, so it's only a 2-point sacrifice, and I think this is safer, although there's still a Z to come for Zar and Ad, or Zar and Zo. But I think this is the play. I am going with this. Wow, I draw the Z, so I've got Zo and Zar in column 9. But, wow, I would have Zelators through an E. And I have a 150-point lead, but still 2 blanks to come. So a couple of bingos from opponent could have him breathing down my neck. Is there a bingo here? This is a nice rack. Great opponent taking out bingo lanes. So 2 A's, 2 O's to come. So ZO would be the play here. 45 points. Can I score more than that? What does Zo and Or score? 37. Although I can play the L as well, which would leave a more balanced rack leave. Yeah, this has merit. Only a few fewer points. It's a better rack leave. It takes out this E, which is useful as a bingo floater. But I'm primarily attracted to taking out the L. This is a really good 4-letter set. L does not help it. And there's a very good 7-letter lane in column 14, so I do have my eye on bingoing again, and I'm turning over 50% more tiles, 3 tiles rather than 2, which is good when there are 2 blanks to come. 41 points still feels a little light for the Z. Am I missing a better spot? And heavens forfend that I'm missing a bingo. Actually, 13 minutes on my clock. Let me put my bingo hat back on and consider these 2-letter sets. E-N. No. A-G. No. P-A. No. I think Stramozel is good. So that would be M and E. That's not available. Okay, so is Zol the play? I don't want to be missing a 50 or 60 point play. I think this is the play, just about. Zol for 41. So I have rituals. Does that play? Oh, I don't think it does. And I'm looking in column 14. Wow. But Trisula is good. Oh, and that doesn't play either. Oh, wow. I need to recheck that, but I don't think either plays. Is there a third anagram? Just 24 per opponent. I lead by 150. I feel this game is won. However, I don't like missing bingos. Let me just reconfirm the ritual situation. La is good, tie is good, det isn't. And DER isn't. So Trisula, det isn't good. Ort is, La is, TI is, but DES isn't. Are there any other 7-letter lanes? Well, there is. There's row E. A and R go in front of U. So TRISULA, that doesn't play. I don't have a bingo ending in P. What about the K? No. So, and the Y? No. What about EN? Wow, this is such a high probability set of tiles. EN, if I didn't have the S, then I would have retinula and antlia through EN. Neither works. What about AG? No, not seeing anything there. So, how frustrating. This is so close to a bingo. And no scoring tiles. So, what to do? I could play LI. No U's to come. 26 points, decent score. Yeah, any column 14 play is likely to provide access to column 15. This is still a decent rack. RST are very good consonants. It would be nice to turn over more tiles with the blanks to come. 10 minutes on my clock. And I'm just wondering if there's a third anagram of rituals. Not that I can see. Now, EM is available as a floater, as a pair rather. No, EH not useful. LI feels a bit lame, but there are 3 I's to come. So this is taking out a scoring spot for opponent. Yeah, I am going with this. And I draw the X. Fantastic. So I've got this X spot under the O. I can play 6 in that spot and sacks. Not seeing a bingo with this rack. Any other super hot X spots? Well, there is. There's the E of deletions. Ideally, I'd play off the U with the X, and zoo, XU, is a word, but that doesn't play in either of these spots. So opponent takes out my 6 spot, leaves alone my Z spot. Is this best? 52 points. Wow, this is going to take me over the 500 mark. Unbelievable. Sextarius is good. What would I need for that? An E and an S. No. Okay, I am going with this. Not so good. Not seeing a 7 here. And column 14 is so good. I feel wretchedly unlucky that the Trisula rack didn't play there. And this rack is super close to a bingo, but I don't think there's a 7. Oh wow, nice bingo for opponent, 67 points, still trails by over 100. And wow, he could be bingoing again. Remaining tiles super bingo-y. So what do I do? 8 minutes on my clock. Well, my options are to play off 1 tile, to leave 1 tile in the bag, so that if opponent bingos, then I get another turn. As soon as I play 2 or more tiles, if opponent bingos, that ends the game. But this is a 1 game. This is the best bingo lane. So I can play Ratu here for 25. Ratus for 30. And I think this is the play. Yeah, opponent could have a 7-letter bingo overlapping 3 tiles. So Ratus takes that out. It's a decent score. I don't think it's a good idea to fish for a bingo myself because the lanes are so limited and I don't have a blank. The only bad thing would be 7 minutes on my clock. Let me briefly take this back. Is if I do have a playable bingo right now. So EN. Ah, gosh, I do have a bingo on this rack, a 7. It's truants, which again wouldn't have played in column 14, but I do have truants. Does that play in column 15? No, it doesn't. What about in row E? No, it doesn't. Anywhere else? Gosh, again, so close in row E, it's just the P getting in the way. Nothing with EM. What about AG? No, EN, that looks the most likely. So, Taunters plus an N. Not seeing anything. I'm going back to Ratus. This game is 1. And I draw a vowel, which is good. Opponent could be about to bingo now in row E. It's not going to be enough. Supposing he doesn't, can I go out? I've got Torn and Tag. Tron is also good. But I'm not seeing anywhere else to go out at the moment. Nothing through EM. I have Trona and Yeen. Okay, so opponent does play in my spot, but he creates a new spot. And he didn't bingo, which is good. So I have Torn here for 13, 6 minutes on my clock. Is this the best? This is 13 points. I think Capet might be good. 1 more point. I'm not sure it is good, but anywhere for a much bigger score. No, I don't think so. I am going with this. And the final score, 418 for opponent, 575 for me, a winning margin of 157 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. That was unbelievable. Nearly 600 points. So, opponent to go first, plays HM, and a fantastic start for me with Rotunda for 68. But look at this, great spot by opponent of Janitors. And my rack. And I play Whisk for 57. The other 50-point plays all burn the S, so I think Whisk is the play. Opponent's rack, and he took a while on this. Plays Duffels. And here we go. Oh, wow. Unagreed. I think that was the 5th anagram, which I didn't consider. Would not have opened column 1 and would have scored 2 more points. So, Dungaree, not best. Opponent's rack plays over 8. And wow, this is a wide open board. And I have 80 points available for deletion. Also available, which I didn't see, non-elite through an N, through this N. And also, there must be another N somewhere. 3G. Yep. Oh, well, it's just using the same N in different positions. Now, I lead by 90. Opponent's rack plays bogey. And I have this rack, no bingo. Oh wow, Savin doesn't get the V doubled, but does burn the V. So, yeah, interesting. V is a demonized tile, probably slightly unfairly so. So in this particular instance, Sniv and Savin score the same. So which rack leave is better, BR or ARV? And I'm thinking it may be ARV. It's certainly going to be very close. B and V are both not non-bingo-y tiles. So R is one of the best tiles, worth about +2. B is probably fairly neutral. So I would say BR is worth somewhere between 0 and 2. ARV, well, R worth 2, A helps it, maybe up to about 4. V drags it back, but how much? Probably close to 0. So I think these rack leaves are very similar. Now, opponent's rack, awash with vowels, plays war. And here we go. I have Privado, which is my 4th bingo of the game for 75 points. And look at this, 150-point lead with only 6 minutes played. Opponent plays yeah. No missed bingo here, but D11, Aroth available through the R, getting the Z doubled. Of course, that opens up Z possibilities for opponent in column 15. What do? Well, I play Zol for 41, keeping arts. I think Zol is a better play. Opponent can't score much off the Z, and this rack leave is fantastic. Now, opponent's drawn the Q, plays Chin, and this is my rituals rack. Phew, no missed bingo. C14. Larry, well, I don't like that. It opens up column 15 and it's only 28 points. So actually 26 for Lee is only 2 points off the best plays, and all of these plays retain the U. So glad I didn't waste further time on this play. Now, great rack for opponent. And missed bingo, Cambodge. Wow, well done if you spotted that. Opponent plays Som, but Cambodge, E1, available running across the top of yeah because of AYU. Now, my rack, and nothing better than Axe and Z on offer. Opponents reckon he does spot his bingo here, but only the one available with elegiac. And 2 tiles in the bag. I've got truants on my rack. Nowhere for it, and no bingo available. But D15. Wow, Tutsan available for 31. I thought Ratus was the most number of tiles I could play. But I could get rid of 1 more and score 1 more point. Now, does opponent have a final rack bingo? He does not. And he plays Keep. And finally, what do? I play Torn for 13. Great, Capet can't be good, or I can't count. And Tirana also available for the same score. So what a game. Absolutely amazing game. Fantastic. Flood of bingos at the start. Brilliant spot of janitors by opponent. And the board was just blown wide apart with all these bingos and some super hot scoring spots on the board, such as the X spot. So both of us got big scores, both over 400 and myself over 500. So absolutely super fun. Many thanks to opponent for a great battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.